The sharp click of handcuffs snapped through the morning air as two cops led a lanky 17-year-old, Jake Palmer, from his pristine lawn in our cookie-cutter Colorado suburb, his mom, Susan Palmer, shrieking, "This is a mistake," like her HOA crown could undo a federal crime. My mailbox, sealed tight with industrial glue, stood as the silent witness to Jake's prank, caught on my camera, turning Susan's petty grudge into a legal nightmare that had cost her family thousands and her reputation everything. That day in Ridgeview Pines, Jake's arrest wasn't just a kid's bad choice. It was Susan's vendetta backfiring, freeing our neighborhood from her clipboard tyranny, and showing how a glued mailbox can spark justice that sticks. My name's Nate Harper, a 32-year-old marketing guy who moved to 118 Cottonwood Drive 3 weeks ago. Chasing a quiet life in a place where lawns look like golf courses and mailboxes match like soldiers. I'm a live and let live type, but I dot my I's, cameras, bylaws. The works. Knowing suburbs breed folks like Susan, the HOA president who'd been ruling Ridgeview like her personal kingdom, finding people for wrong doormats or kids' chalk. I wanted to blend in, mow my grass, pay my dues. But Susan had other plans, her eagle eye on my every move. Her grudge growing when I dared question her at a meeting, not knowing she'd sick her kid on my mailbox. Or that federal law would turn her prank into a family catastrophe. When Jake's glue hit my mail, Susan thought she'd won, but my lens and a postal inspector had other ideas. Proving nobody's above the law, not even an HOA queen. It all kicked off my second day here, when Susan knocked, her clipboard gleaming, her smile colder than a January wind. "Nate, your grass is a half-inch over code, your bins are 2 inches off the curb, and that welcome mat's too red," she said, like I'd graffitied her house. I nodded. "Thanks, I'll check the rules." Knowing I'd read the HOA handbook cover to cover, no such violations existed. I figured she was flexing, but over 2 weeks, 4 letters hit my door, each nastier, on fancy HOA letterhead. Threatening fines for my unapproved porch light, a bulb straight from the builder's plan. I stayed cool, filing them in my Susan Saga folder, but her obsession was clear. She wanted me in line. Or out. The breaking point came at the HOA meeting, a stuffy community center affair where I stood, voice steady. "Susan, why's my house singled out when others have the same light?" Her face went tomato red. "You're dragging down our values, Nate. If you can't follow rules, maybe you don't belong," she snapped, her lecture a 10-minute tirade, personal and petty. As neighbors shifted, too scared to speak, I sat down, heart pounding, knowing I'd poked a bear with a clipboard, but not expecting her to weaponize her kid. 3 days later, I woke to a mailbox sealed tighter than a bank vault, industrial glue hardening the slot. My mail stuck for 2 days. I cursed, scraping it with a putty knife, when my mail carrier, Tom, said, "This ain't a prank, it's federal tampering, serious stuff." That hit me. Susan's grudge had gone criminal, but I needed proof. I ordered a wireless camera, small enough to hide in my shrubs, angled at the mailbox, feeding to my phone. For 3 days, nothing, just squirrels and breeze. But Thursday at 7 p.m., my phone buzzed, emotion alert. I opened the app, blood boiling. Jake, Susan's lanky teen, glanced around, smug as his mom, squeezing glue around my mailbox, stepping back to admire his work like an artist, then jogging to their house across the street. The footage was crystal clear, his face lit by dusk, Susan's influence all over his grin. I saved it, triple backed up, feeling not just anger but a quiet resolve. This wasn't about a mailbox. It was about stopping a bully who'd taught her kid to break laws for her ego. Next morning, I called the U.S. Postal Service, reaching their inspection division, where a gruff inspector, Dan, took my report like I'd handed him a bomb. "Mailbox tampering's federal. Send the video," he said, explaining it disrupts mail, a protected service. I emailed the clip, heart racing. And 2 hours later, Dan called. "We've got him coordinating with local police. Charges pending." I filed a report with the Crestview PD, Officer Ruiz shaking his head at the footage. "Kids in deep. Parents don't get how bad this is." He warned Jake faced fines up to $250,000, 3 years in prison. Even as a minor, Susan's prank now a federal case. I felt a twinge for Jake. Just a teen, but Susan's shadow loomed. He was her tool, and she'd pay the price. 2 days later, shouts pulled me to my window. 2 cop cars and an unmarked sedan at Susan's. her gesticulating in a pink tracksuit, voice shrill, "It's a prank," as Jake, head down, was cuffed. Neighbors gawked, phones out, filming Susan's meltdown. Her misunderstanding plea drowned by the postal inspector's calm. "Mail tampering's federal, ma'am, age doesn't matter." She went pale when they showed her the video, her smugness gone. Replaced by panic as Jake was loaded into a cruiser. Susan's screams followed. "This is Nate's fault. He's too sensitive." Blaming me like I'd glued my own mailbox. The crowd murmured, "Clara Evans." My neighbor, whispering, "She find my tulips, glad someone caught her." News spread like a brush fire. Susan's perfect lawn a stage for her fall, her HOA badge worthless against cuffs. At an emergency HOA meeting a week later, I sat in the back, Clara beside me, as residents aired years of grief. Fines for birdhouses, kids' bikes, even a gnome. Susan, face tight, tried spinning it. "I protect our standards," but Clara stood. "Your son's in cuffs for a federal crime. You're the problem." The board voted her out. Unanimous. Her rained dust as neighbors clapped. Clara tossing me a grin. "You did this, Nate." I didn't gloat, just felt the weight lift. Susan's grip was gone, my mailbox the key. Court came 3 weeks later, and I showed up, notebook in hand. Watching Susan's pricey lawyer plead Jake's youth, he didn't know it was serious. The prosecutor, unfazed, played my footage, Jake's smirk, his careful glue job, no hint of confusion. The judge, stern but fair, ruled. 2 years probation, 100 hours with the Postal Service, a $5,000 fine, $1,500 to fix my mailbox and cover costs, plus an apology letter and a federal law class. Susan gasped. Her perfect world cracking. Jake's conviction would shadow his college apps, his future, all because she'd taught him rules don't apply to Palmers. The judge eyed her. "This starts with parenting. Teach better." I felt no joy, just relief, knowing justice stuck, not just for me, but for Clara's tulips, the Miller's bikes, every neighbor Susan bullied. Jake's letter arrived, a scrawled, "Sorry," I filed away, hoping he'd learn, but Susan's silence spoke louder. Her power was gone, her lawn a ghost town. Ridgeview pines changed overnight. Clara planted wildflowers, kids drew chalk dragons, mailboxes went rainbow, no fines in sight. The HOA slashed rules, needing votes for complaints, a new president promising fairness. Clara hosted a block party, burgers sizzling, as neighbors swapped Susan's stories, her standards a punchline. I grilled steaks, feeling not just home, but part of something freer, my mailbox gleaming. A quiet hero. Susan's house stayed dark, rumors swirling she'd move. Her HOA days a cautionary tale locals called Mailbox Gate. I kept my camera rolling, Jake's letter a reminder, stand firm. Keep proof, and bullies fall, even ones with perfect lawns. That fight wasn't about revenge. It was about drawing a line, proving nobody's title trumps the law. My porch a testament to calm and evidence over chaos. I'd sit there, coffee warm, watching dawn break, knowing one guy with a lens could shift a whole town. But last month, a flyer hit my box. And signed, pushing new aesthetic codes, Susan's Echo in fresh print. I started RidgeviewRoots.com, our story at 95,000 views, with tales of HOA fines for flags or swings. Susan's gone. Her tracksuit a memory, but her kind lingers. What happens when the next bully creeps in? Not with glue, but slicker schemes. How do you keep your mail free when control sneaks back? Drop a comment. Have you fought an HOA tyrant, stood for your home, or seen justice click? What's your story, and how do we hold our ground? Let's keep these boxes open, because out here, peace is only as strong as the proof you save.